did you grow up around entrepreneurs? Was it somewhere in your DNA that,
Not
or
at all.
no?
Not at all. I grew up in like a fairly, I would say like a fairly typical immigrant type family. My parents were both academics, professors, teachers, um, and
So definitely not entrepreneurs.
not entrepreneurial at all. Not even business.
Yeah, right.
Like not even like I don't think. I mean, maybe my father spent a couple of years in a corporate job, like very, very early, but otherwise, my parents had never worked in corporations, like not much less entrepreneurship. But I actually don't think that that mattered because I think that, like, I would credit my parents for being the biggest impact on me. And I think it's the mindset thing. Like, I think ultimately we all like innately understand the power of things that can compound over the course of time. And like as a person, a professional, leader, an entrepreneur, like whatever it ends up being, I don't think that there's anything as impactful as how your mindset compounds over the course of time, right? And at this point, that mindset has compounded many decades, and I think my parents just gave us, like me and my two siblings, just like a incredibly powerful mindset around mostly like classical immigrant type mentalities around, like there are no shortcuts. You have to work hard. You're capable of solving any problem. Um, kind of resilience and being able to kind of navigate calmly through challenges because you just believe eventually I'll figure out what the answer is here. Um, I think are just things that made all the difference.
It's interesting that one of the guests that I had was Adam Bryan. He used to write for the New York Times. He had a column called the Corner Office, and he's interviewed 1,000 CEOs. And actually, it was a big inspiration for the way I try to do this podcast. And I asked him on I said, "What are the profiles of the best and most successful CEOs?" And Immigrant was one of the four, and he said it just you just see it over and over, and I think it's exactly what you're talking about, which is there's a mindset you have to have as an immigrant to be successful and to make it through all the challenges. And if you pass that on to your children, it's actually one of my parents are also both immigrants, and I got that same thing. And I worry that you start to lose that as it goes through
I know if you
generations.
like think about like an immigrant mindset is like the opposite end of the spectrum of like nepotism.
Yeah,
And
right.
like I think about that all the time too, but I think like fundamentally there's a fundamental attribute of being an immigrant that you think that the locus of control in your life is inside of you. And whether or not you succeed is you have agency in that. Like you can make decisions that allow you to be successful because you like fundamentally believe that you have fewer resources or it's not something on the outside that's going to help you. It's like your ability to do that. And that's like the most extraordinary gift you can give somebody is tell them like, hey, at the end of the day, you get to decide. Like you can decide what your potential is or like how far you go. It's not going to be because, your dad wasn't the CEO of X, Y, or Z or because you were unlucky or whatever it ends up being. And I think like deeply feeling like at the end of the day, it was up to me to decide.
It's a good description of the
Is like, I think that's what it comes down to.